My name is Vesna Kotarski, and I am head of European Projects Office at the University of Zagreb, and I will be your host today, together with my colleague Ana Branka Jerbic. She's our Innovation Community Program Manager from our Technology Transfer Office, also at the University of Zagreb. So today's agenda is designed to give you an overview of funding opportunities and practical information on how to successfully prepare and implement an European research and innovation project. So the first block of presentations will be given by our colleagues from the Agency for Mobility and European Programs. They will talk about the opportunities within, I would say, European key program for funding research and innovation, Horizon Europe. And also they will introduce services provided by Euraccess program to support research mobility and career development. Then we will have a time slot for your questions and other useful information that you will try that we will try to provide. And then we will finish with the presentation of your fellow researcher, a colleague from Faculty of Pharmacy and Biochemistry. She will give you, I would say, an overview of her experience in the project cycle management process and hands-on and practical information how to be successful within this process. So before we start with the presentations, just few technical standard points, I would say. So webinar will be recorded. Please keep your microphone muted during the presentation. If you want to pose or ask question, please use chat or raise your hand. So I think we can start now. I would like to invite our colleague Sonja Jantar. She is a national contact point from Agency for Mobility and European Programs. And what I wanted to point out today that our colleagues from agency are the real best people to ask for your support within, if you are planning to start applications or project proposals for securing grants from Horizon Europe program. So Sonja, I'll give you the mic.
Thank you, Vesna, and thank you for this lovely introduction. And now I will start sharing my screen. Give me just a moment. Okay, share. Okay, you can see my screen now, just the presentation. Thank you. Great. So I will be talking about Horizon Europe and the funding opportunities in BioMed and health. Horizon Europe is a program that has just started in 2021 and will last until 2027. It is really a very ambitious EU research and innovation framework program, and the previous program was Horizon 2020, and a lot of our researchers participated. There are some changes with regard to the old program within the new program, but still it is an excellent way to fund your research and to collaborate with European researchers. The Horizon Europe program tackles climate change, among other things, helps to achieve the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and boosts EU's competitiveness and growth. The collaboration is really emphasized in this program, and also excellence and impact. So the importance of this program can also be seen in the budget, because this budget has grown as a consequence of the pandemic, which is also logical because research is really important to get us out of any crisis. This is the structure of the program. And here you can see pillars 1, 2, and 3, and the specific program for defense, and the complementary program, the Euratom. Also, you can see the horizontal part in the lower part of the presentation, widening participation and strengthening the European research area. I will talk a little bit about all the pillars and the widening part. So pillar 1, excellent science. The most important criteria for projects in this pillar is excellence. There's the European Research Council. This is the best research in Europe. So some say that the ERC projects are scientific Oscars. Only the most excellent projects are funded. And the fun fact is that the mRNA vaccine for COVID was partly developed by an ERC project. The Marie Skłodowska-Curie reactions and research, Marie Skłodowska-Curie reactions, my colleague Sandra will talk a lot about that. So I will not say a lot. These actions will be interesting to you researchers, and the research infrastructures are really big, both physical and non-physical infrastructures like clouds, the Open Science Cloud or something, which are also financed by this pillar 1. So excellence is the most important criteria. Then we have pillar 2, which tackles global challenges and European industrial competitiveness. So health is part of pillar 2. Pillar 2 is divided in clusters, so we have health, culture, creativity and inclusive society, civil security, digital industry and space, climate, energy and mobility, food, bioeconomy, natural resources, agriculture and environment. And also the Joint Research Center is in pillar 2, but I think that my colleague Sandra will also say something about that. All the research actions in pillar 2 are collaborative. So, and I will talk a little bit more about that later. Then there's pillar 3, which is a novelty in Horizon Europe. It has been set up as a way to boost innovativeness in Europe. Europe has been a leader in research, but the innovation part, using research to implement innovations in industry and society has not been that strong in Europe. So European Commission has set up the European Innovation Council, Innovation Ecosystems, and the Institute of Innovation and Technology as a way to bring innovation more into focus and to support innovation in Europe more. And the horizontal part of Horizon Europe, widening participation and strengthening the European research area, is also very interesting to researchers from Croatia, because the widening part supports strengthening of the research ecosystem of countries that are not very developed in that regard. So Croatia is one of those countries and is eligible for widening calls. And we've already had the widening info day in Croatia, but the information on that is available, and we have the widening and ERA NCPs in the agency. If you're interested in that part, contact us. The very new thing in Horizon Europe are the missions. Missions are European Commission's way to achieve ambitious goals in a set period of time. So the missions have been developed in collaboration with member states and citizens. And so these are the 5 mission areas that have been that have been found that are really important to both member states, citizens, stakeholders. One of those missions is a mission on cancer. So I will tell you a little bit more about that, because within the missions there are research and innovation actions, and there will be calls for project application published in December. So these are the mission areas that the European Commission has found that are really, really important. Mission on Cancer has an ambitious goal to achieve, together with the Europe Beating Cancer Plan, the goal of improving lives of more than 3 million people, but by 2030, through prevention, cure, and including a better life for cancer survivors and families. There will be also research actions within missions, but also different kind of actions like policy development, coordination and support action, and there will be a lot of citizen engagement. All right, topics in 2021 in Mission on Cancer. These calls will be published in December. Will be to develop new methods of screening and early detection, develop and validate a set of quality of life measures for cancer patients and survivors, and better understanding healthy versus cancer cells. So if your research falls within these topics, check out the Funding and Tenders portal in December. And I will tell you a bit more about the Funding and Tenders portal later. Also part of Horizon Europe are partnerships. Partnerships are a way for the European Commission, member states, and private funding to work together to fund research on certain areas and topics which are important. In the new program, there are 49 European partnerships, and in Cluster 1 Health, there will be 9 partnerships. There are upsides and downsides to partnerships. Now, the downside is that not every country participates in every partnerships. So in order for our researchers to be eligible for calls within partnerships, our country, meaning the Ministry of Science and Education, needs to enroll in that partnerships and provide funding. So that is the downside. Croatia will not be part of all of these partnerships. At the moment, the information from the ministry is that they are preparing, they need to program funds for partnerships, and the information will become available when they do that work. The upside of partnerships is that if the country is part of one of these partnerships, then the applicants from that country, a certain number of applicants will certainly be funded. So maybe for some of Croatian applicants, researchers, partnerships are a good way to start with Horizon Europe, and then build excellence of your team and your research infrastructure in your institution. But there will be a bit, we will know a bit later which partnerships will be co-funded by Croatia. All right. What can be funded within Horizon Europe? So how do you get funding for your research? You have grants to individual researchers or teams or infrastructures, innovators. So institutions can apply, or individual researchers, or industry, small and medium enterprises. And these grants to individual entities are under Pillar 1, the Excellence Pillar, ERC, or Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions, which Sandra, my colleague, will be telling you a lot about later, and under Pillar 3 in the European Innovation Council. Then most grants are for collaborative research and innovation projects. Under Pillar 2, including cluster health, partnerships, formations, I'm not sure yet. But collaboration is really important for Horizon Europe. So you need a consortium, you need partners, and then together you develop and prepare the project application, and together you apply for a project. The minimum number of legal entities in these collaborative projects is 3. One entity needs to be from a member state, and the other 2 need to be from 2 different member states or associated countries. And then you have partnerships and missions, which I talked about earlier. The most important hub on the internet where you can find all the information is Funding and Tenders portal. You can find there both documents, the program guide, the detailed information on how to apply for projects, information on calls, which you can find by searching Funding and Tenders portal. You need to write Horizon Europe. You need to click on Horizon Europe because Funding and Tenders portal serves as a hub also for other European programs. Also, you can find the EU for Health program here, which is the program financing actions on health, which are not research actions. So maybe if you're interested in that, you can check that too. If you search Horizon Europe Health, you will see calls that are available now. So I did this just this morning, so you can click and check if you have to find the call that matches with your research. And then you can see, okay, this call is interesting, my research matches the instructions in the call, but I don't have partners yet. I don't know anyone in Europe who does that kind of research. On this portal, you can also find partners, or you can upload your partner information, and you can be there available for others to see. So you can also find partners on the portal. And here you can see the Horizon Europe program guide is the maybe the first document that you need to check because it describes the application process in detail. And when you find the opportunity on the Horizon, on the Funding and Tenders portal, you find the call, you find partners, you need to have an account on the Funding and Tenders portal, and you need to register your organization if your organization hasn't before been part of Horizon 2020 projects. So it takes some time to do that. So please, if you are thinking of something like that, do it with plenty of time to spare until your project application is due. Okay, and let's talk a bit about the Cluster 1 Health. So this cluster aims to improve and protect the health and well-being of citizens of all ages by generating new knowledge, developing innovative solutions, and integrating, where it is relevant, the gender perspective to prevent, diagnose, monitor, treat, and cure diseases. Then also, further aims include developing health technologies, protecting populations, and promoting good health, and to make public health systems more cost-effective, equitable, and sustainable. Now, this cluster has 6 destinations, and within destinations are calls for applications. I will say just a few words about these destinations. You can find all this information online and all the calls that are open right now. So destination 1 is staying healthy in a rapidly changing society. These are the calls that are right now available. You can see until February 1st or April 21st. If your research matches with those topics, check the topic, find partners. There's still time to apply, although it takes a couple of months to prepare the application. Destination 2, living and working in a health promoting environment. Destination 3, tackling diseases and reducing disease burden. Ensuring access to innovative, sustainable and high quality healthcare. Unlocking the full potential of new tools, technologies and digital solutions. So a lot of digital small and medium enterprises also apply for these kinds of projects. Maintaining an innovative, sustainable and globally competitive health industry. So why should you apply for a Horizon Europe project? It takes a lot of work. It takes time to understand the topic, the call, to understand all the tables and forms that you need to fill in to apply for this kind of project, to think about your research. Well, the obvious reason is to get your research financed. You can benefit from partnerships from your colleagues from all around Europe who do similar. You can complement your research, each other's research. You can reach your goals faster, and you would anyway think about your research. You would plan what you want to do in the next few years. So why not try and apply for the Horizon Europe project? And if you fail for the first time, do not get discouraged. Most researchers apply for 2 or 3 times before their idea, if it is excellent, and they make it better each time, before they get funded. So don't be discouraged. Don't give up. Now, for all of you speaking Croatian, in Croatia, the Ministry of Science and the Agency for Mobility and Youth Program manage the Obzor Europa website, where you can find information on Horizon Europe, but also information on info days, webinars that we organize, and those that are organized by the Commission. So check our website, you will find new information there, updated regularly. And as a national contact person, my areas are Cluster 1 Health and legal and financial aspects of Horizon Europe. We inform potential applicants through info days, through presentations like these. We advise them through the project cycle. These days, the advice is given mostly by email or online meetings, but when things get back to normal, we also have meetings live with potential applicants if it is needed. Yes, we present the program on different levels. So if you have more questions after this that we will not be able to answer in the Q&A session later, you can contact me by email or phone. You can check our website, and I'm calling all of you to participate in the info day on Cluster 1 Health, which we are organizing next Tuesday. Application is until Sunday, so you can still apply. On that info day, we will have the presentation of Cluster 1 by a policy officer from the European Commission. She will also present partnerships. Another policy officer will present mission on cancer. We will have 2 researchers presenting their successful Horizon 2020 projects. And also we will have the national coordinator of NCPs present the measures that the Ministry of Science is implementing to help and support our applicants to Horizon Europe. So a lot of useful information will be there, and apply, and I will see you there. So if you have any questions, I suppose that, Vesna, the questions will be held until the Q&A session later.
Yes, after the presentation of Sandra and Ivan.
Okay, well then, thank you very much, and I will see you at the Q&A session.
Thank you, Sonia. This was very informative, and I think that all our participants will, well, think about starting a journey and trying to apply for Horizon Europe grants. I would recommend it to do so and to contact you first, or to invest some of their time and go through the documents that are published on call for proposals web pages, where they can read what are the expectations from each call, or if they found their project idea matching the topic that you have mentioned today, they can do it today if they are willing to. So thank you once again, and we will wait for questions posed by our participants later. So we can move now to Sandra's, or even, I don't know how you want to go on. Maybe Sandra will present opportunities for our early career researchers, our young colleagues.
Yes, just a second for sharing my screen. Okay. I hope you see it in the full screen now. So good morning to you all. My name is Sandra Vidovic, and I am the national contact point for the medical key reactions at the Agency for Mobility and New Programs. And thank you very much, Vesna and Anna, for inviting us and giving us this opportunity to present medical reactions and the opportunities for the young researchers. So let's begin with the presentation. Let's say that medical reactions are one of the steps in potential career development of the researchers in all stages of their career. First, we should start with the Erasmus Plus programs, which is for the students and doctoral students. Then we have medical key reactions, which is for doctoral students and young postdocs. And if the researchers wants to pursue their research career in groundbreaking science, then the next stop is ERC, or the European Research Council. So why should researchers use medical reactions? Because medical reactions provides training, skills, and career development for the young researchers and young postdocs as well. It also provides excellent research in all domains because it is a bottom-up approach. It provides attractive working and employment conditions. And of course, it gives the opportunity for the international, intersectoral, and interdisciplinary mobility. And of course, it fosters strong collaboration between the industry and the SMEs. And at the end, it also has an impact on the organizations by structuring excellent doctoral and postdoctoral programs. As you may already know, medical reaction is one of the oldest programs of the European Commission, which is targeted to the training of the researchers, and it started in 1996 with the budget of 14 billion euros. And since that time, it funded more than 140,000 of the researchers. And now in Horizon Europe program, it is a part of the excellence science pillar, which was explained by my colleague Sonia. And the budget for medical reactions is 6.6 billion euros. And it is anticipated that it will fund around 65,000 of the researchers, including 25,000 of the doctoral students or the PhD studies. So what are the benefits for the researchers? As we said before, medical reactions are providing the excellent working conditions, which basically means that it has a supporting environments for the researchers, and it is based on the charter and code for the researchers. Also, medical reactions has a strong emphasis on the guidelines of the supervision, by promoting effective supervisions and adequate mentoring for establishing a career development plan. It also goes in track with all the aspects of the Horizon Europe program, and it also promotes and includes the open science and responsible research and innovations by equipping the researchers with the new knowledge and skills. And of course, one of the other reasons why medical reactions are so popular, because they have a nice salaries. Let's say it like that. Medical reactions are providing the cost for the researchers, which includes the living mobility, which is basically salary for the researchers. It also includes mobility allowance, as well as the family allowance for the researchers, as an additional incentives for the researchers. As I said before, medical reactions are providing a 3I dimension, intersectoral mobility, which is one of the main aspects for the medical reaction. And basically, every researcher needs to apply with this mobility rule. It basically means that the researcher must not have resided or carried out their main activity, which is basically work or studies, in the country of the recruiting host or the beneficiary for more than 12 months in the last 36 months before the relevant date of this rule. Also, it provides opportunities for the researchers for the intersectoral mobility and intersectoral project, because all medical reactions projects are evaluated within the 8 scientific panels, which are the life science, the chemistry, physics, mathematics, engineering, economic, social sciences, and environment sciences. And usually the interdisciplinary projects are combining 1, 2, or 3 these evaluation panels. Also, what is extra benefit for the researcher is the intersectoral mobility, which can be done via secondments. And it basically means that medical reactions are open from for the beneficiaries from academic sector, which is basically the public private higher education establishment, the profit and non-profit private research organizations and institutions, and international European research organization. And on the other side, medical reactions are open for the non-academic sector, and non-academic sector is basically any other organization who is not included in the academic sector. So what are the opportunities for the early stage researchers? So we can point out that we can have 2 types of the early stage researchers. We can have one type, which is doctoral candidates. And these are the researchers who are not already in the possession of the doctoral degree at the date of their recruitment within the medical reactions. And medical reactions are here to provide a doctoral study or a PhD program, which can be done via doctoral networks or via co-fund doctoral programs. And on the other side, we have young postdocs, which are the researchers who have a PhD, but they must have maximum of 8 years of full-time equivalent of the research experience. And basically, we can say that medical reactions are a good stepping stone for young postdocs, and because they are usually first or the second postdoc of the young researchers. So through medical reactions, they can have a special postdoc training, which can be done via postdoctoral fellowships and via co-fund postdoctoral programs as well. So what are benefits for the researchers? Because the researchers, we have a new knowledge and skills inside and outside the academia. Of course, these skills will increase their career perspective and employability of the researchers. And of course, they will focus on innovation oriented mindset to convert ideas into the products and services. And of course, it gives them the opportunity of the networking in increased mobility within the European research area. And of course, it gives them opportunity, as we said before, for the international, interdisciplinary and intersectoral experience and exposure. And of course, what is the most important, it gives them the access to participate in the research groups and to be in the leading organizations of their research topics. So if you focus on the PhD students, we can say that the best way for the PhD program is the participation in the doctoral networks, which basically means that that we have a consortium of at least 3 partners which are proposing doctoral programs, and these training activities, doctoral programs should respond to well identified needs of the European research area, and of course it will have an appropriate reference to inter and multidisciplinary fields. So this basically means, as I said before, we have an international and intersectoral consortium who is proposing a doctoral program as a one big research project, and the participants have the opportunity to participate in industrial doctorates and the joint doctorates. On the other hand, the researcher is recruited in this doctoral program, and he's enrolled in the doctoral studies, and by training through research, the researcher is working in individual projects. And of course, the impact of this network is that the researcher will focus on research and transferable skills and competencies. And of course, it will have an opportunity to exchange knowledge and the best practice within the consortium. And through secondment and industrial doctorate, the researcher will be exposed to non-academic sector. It basically means that with this action, the European Commission is training a new generation of young researchers. And all the job vacancies are published in the Euraxis jobs and funding portals, which basically means when the doctoral programs are funded from the European Commission, then all these doctoral programs, they need to post their job applications or the job vacancies on the Euraxis jobs and funding portals. And basically it gives you the opportunity via this portal to explore all the possibilities of molecular jobs applications. So when you are accessing the Euraxis jobs and funding portals, one of the main criteria to recognize the molecular job applications is with this emblem of Marie Skłodowska-Curie reactions. And of course, if the organizations have HR Excellence logo, they will also point out the HR Excellence logo. The other opportunity is for the young postdoctoral students or for the young postdocs. It basically gives them the opportunity to participate in the postdoctoral fellowship. And these fellowships are open for the researchers of any nationality. And of course, they will enhance the creative and innovative potentials of the researchers who are already having their PhD. And they will give them the opportunity of participating in advanced training, the international and interdisciplinary and intersectoral mobility. And of course, the main aspect is the academic freedom, which means that the postdoc researchers are proposing their field and their topic of the research, and they of course implementing this project across all the sectors and the disciplines of the research. And the fellows have the opportunity in participating in the 2 types of postdoctoral fellowship. One type is the European fellowship, which is for the researchers from Europe and the associated countries, and it lasts until 2 years. And the other opportunity is also for the global fellowships, which is for the EU researchers and for the researchers from associated members countries. And these fellowships give the researchers opportunity to have an outgoing phase in the 3rd countries, which can last until 2 years. And then they have the reintegration phase at the European organization for at least 1 year. And I would like to correct myself in the earlier, because European fellowships are open for all nationalities of the research, and not just the European and associated countries. Also, within the postdoctoral fellowships, it gives them the opportunity to have an additional placement in non-academic sector for 6 months after their project is finished. And this non-academic sector should be in the EU or associated countries to Horizon Europe. And also for us, for the researchers from the widening countries, there is also additional opportunity for the funding of the projects via ERA fellowship, which basically means that the project proposal where the host country is in the widening country, and this organization and this project proposal will not be funded by the Marie Curie budget, or it will be on the reserve list or high on the high above the threshold. It gives them the opportunity to go to another panel, to another group of the projects, and they can be also funded via widening budget. So if you are thinking about having postdoctoral fellowships and you don't still have a hosting organization that and via this organization you will apply for the fellowship, we also advise you to look for the Euro-Access Jobs and Funding portal, to go to the Find Hosting, and all organizations that are interested to host postdoctoral fellowship via Marie Curie Action will post their offers here. Next call for the postdoctoral fellowships is opening in the April 2020 and the 2022, and the deadline for application will be in September 2022. And of course, if you have more questions about postdoctoral fellowship or the doctoral networks, please don't hesitate to contact us. The other opportunity is also via co-fund programs for the researcher, and the main difference is between co-fund programs and, let's say, the postdoctoral fellowship is that the researchers is applying directly to the organization who is funded by the co-fund, while in the postdoctoral fellowship, the research and the organizations are applying to European Commission. So the co-fund is functioning in a way that the organizations from the EU and associated countries are proposing a co-fund programs, and they are applying on the co-fund call. This program could be a doctoral program or a postdoctoral program, and usually all these programs are including incoming, outgoing, or the reintegration mobility. So if the European Commission is funding the proposed co-fund program, then this organization that got funded, they are posting the advertisement of the job vacancies or the hosting offers on the Euro-Access portal, and they are recruiting the researchers for the working on the project, and this is usually up to 3 years. And within these co-fund programs, the mobility rules also applies for the researchers, and they are also working on the personal research project, and they, of course, they also have the opportunity of the secondments in non-academic sector. And of course, the European Commission is funding living allowance, mobility allowance, and family allowance for the researchers. Sorry. So this is example of the job vacancies for the co-fund, which was published on the Euro-Access Jobs and Funding portal. So what are the typical Marie Curie project activities? The typical activities, as we said before, is training through research as the host organization and its premises. And of course, it gives opportunity for the research to gain experience from non-academic sectors, which can be from the industry sector, from the business sector, or even the non-governmental organization. And it is usually via secondments that are lasting up to 6 months of the project proposal. And of course, this gives the opportunities for the researchers to acquire scientific skills. The research will have the opportunity to establish some new methods, to work on new technique or the new instruments, And of course, besides the scientific and the research skills, the researchers have the opportunity of developing the transferable skills, which is basically targeted to entrepreneurship, the proposal preparation, patent application, IPR, supervising, and any other. And of course, the researchers will have the opportunity in training in open access, the training in the gender aspects and the other aspects of the responsible research and innovations. And of course, the researcher will have some kind of role of the project management, and the researcher will take part in the research and financial management of the project. And of course, the communication and outreach activities are very important, and the research will participate fully in this kind of activities as participant of these activities, as well as one of the organizer who will organize scientific trainings or dissemination events. So why do you want to become a Marie Curie researchers? Well, let's say the selling points are that it is the prestigious fellowships for the young researchers, for the doctoral students and postdoctoral students. It gives you opportunity to work in excellent working conditions and give you the excellent salaries. It also gives the organization a generous research budget, and it provides you the international, intersectoral, and interdisciplinary environments. And it gives you also great opportunity for the networking and collaboration with other research teams. And of course, it gives you the opportunity to be included in Marie Curie alumni associations, and it will strengthen your soft skills and your business skills. And of course, via communication and dissemination activities, it will promote the research results, and of course, it will promote the science to the general public. So let's say these are the main aspects on how to be a successful Marie Curie researcher. So for any other information, you can of course follow us on our National Observ Europa webpage, on our Euraccess HR webpage, which is on English, as well as in our social media. We have a Euraccess Facebook and LinkedIn Facebook, and they are in the English. And of course, we have a Facebook page for the Horizon Europe, which is in Croatia. So if you want to get in touch with us, and if you want to receive our monthly newsletters, please register on Horizon Europe webpage. And let's say the next newsletter is under the preparation, and I do hope it will welcome you tomorrow morning in your inboxes. So these are our contacts from me and my colleague Ivan. If you have any additional questions, we can set them up during the Q&A session, or if not, you can always contact us via email or telephone. So we are at your disposal.
Thank you very much, Sandra. I think from my point of view, this was very motivational. If I'm a young researcher, I would definitely register to get more information on all of these opportunities, although it could look very complicated for a newcomer to Horizon. But the most important thing today is that you have physical persons to contact. Those are our colleagues today, our speakers. So don't hesitate and contact them. They will guide you through the process. And I'm sure that you will use the opportunity to, let's say, start your grants through Marie Curie, because it is, I would say, more simple than, for example, another grant schemes, because you can apply as an individual, you can propose your own project idea. As Sandra mentioned, it's bottom-up approach, so it's not like in collaborative projects where you have already predefined topics that your idea has to match. And beside this, salary and living costs and research costs, you are very, on a safe side. You don't have to worry about all those things. in order to carry on with your research. So I think, Sandra, that you have covered both Marie Curie and Euraccess.
No,
Is
but
that-
my colleague will also
okay.
present the career development tools of the Euraccess.
Okay.
The special role of the Euraccess, you can say that.
Okay, thank you. So we can move on to Ivan.
Yes, thank you. I will share my presentation. If you could just confirm that you see full screen mode. Yes, okay. Thank you for the lovely introduction. My name is Ivan Makovic. I work at the Agency for Mobility and EU Programs. And as well as Sandra, I am a national contact point for Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions and for GRC. And I will just, today I will just tell you a little bit more and give you more information on Euraccess career development services and tools for researchers. For those of you who are not familiar with Euraccess initiative, just to give you a short introduction, as you can see, the Euraccess initiative was established in 2004 by the European Commission, and it's one of the largest network supporting researchers mobility in Europe. In its beginnings, the main goal of the network was to facilitate the mobility of researchers in the European research area. In order to do that, Euraccess developed services that were in the beginning more focused on removing administrative obstacles of researchers' mobility related to entry conditions, and visas or hosting procedures, social security, and health insurance. But as a network progressed, different kinds of services have been developed and offered to researchers, such as dual careers, social integration, and career development. Along with that, the term mobility was broadened and now implies not only international mobility, but also interdisciplinary and intersectoral mobility. That means if Euraccess network wants to facilitate mobility between two sectors, for instance, academy to business, it has to offer career development services to researchers. In 2015, Euraccess explored its capacities for providing this kind of services, career development services, and the main conclusions were that there is a lack of structured approach. In order to overcome these challenges and to support those Euraccess members willing to provide career development services, the network developed its career development services model, tools, and recommendation. As you can see in this slide, the three-level model of services is presented, which means on the level first, you have a career development platform, which is basically embedded in Euraccess portal, where you can find all these tools that I will tell you about it later. And as you can see, as the model progresses from the level 1 to level 3, the researchers get more specialized type of services. Recommendations were to raise awareness among researchers about importance of career planning in early stages of their career, which would include exploring their values, motivations, skills, and and strengths. Basically, what this implies, it implies that at the beginning of their career, researchers should ask themselves a question: where do I want to be, for instance, for about 5 years or 10 years? Where do I see myself? Will I continue to work inside of academic sector, or I tend to just to go and make transition to a business sector or industry or SME? So, and what do I have to do to get there? Where do I want to go? So basically, this is the type of questions that researchers should ask themselves in their early stage or early stage of their careers. And for this purpose, different tools were developed by Euraccess network, and you can access them via Euraccess portal. And all of them are free of charge. I will try to give you a basic overview of these tools. And also this presentation will, with direct links on specific tools, will be shared. So I encourage you to explore them for yourselves. As you can see in the title, I've put I hyperlinked the title of the tool, Career Development Resources for Researchers. And when you get the presentation, just click on the link and you can explore these tools for yourselves. This particular tool offers different kinds of materials, webinars, articles, case studies to researchers and career advisors in order to increase their knowledge on the topics such as intellectual property rights, leadership skills, public engagement, or scientific entrepreneurship. For the researchers who are exploring the possibilities to work in the industry or business sector, discover careers beyond academia tool is the right tool for them because it offers up-to-date labor market information on available careers outside of academia, and also includes some inspirational testimonials of the researchers that made this successful transition. Unlike other existing career support tools, the Talent Development Suite focuses on researchers' vision. It is structured into 4 assessment sections: future, present, past, and personal journey map. And it offers a better understanding of professional and private life. Basically, this tool should also encourage researchers to reflect on the steps they should take in order to achieve a successful career and fulfilled private life. If you're planning, for instance, to change your cultural environment, Intercultural Assistant is the right tool that will help you to develop or strengthen your intercultural communication skills and competences. Basically, by exploring this tool, you can learn about different cultures by comparing them with yours. No Limits Toolkit enables researchers to identify what is important in their careers by offering quizzes, links to resources, information, and opportunities. it focuses on values, motivations, skills, career options, and development plans. In my opinion, this tool is a great starting point for exploring career choices, especially for PhD students or early stage researchers. And last but not least, Reflex online application is meant more for organizations who are employing or assisting researchers. It helps them to map career services available in their institutions and also inspires them to go further in their development. And just at the end, one last slide, why to join Euraccess community. It's basically what Sandra said. First of all, it's free of charge. Nothing costs you to create your research profile. You can develop your profile and put in the type of research you are conducting, or the topics you're interested, or the career stage of your career. And you can have access to thousands of research jobs and funding and hosting offers. As you can see in this pink square box, there is a number 11,336. It is the number of research job positions available in Euraccess portal, and the number is, I think I took it the last Thursday. So it's always around 11, 12,000 available vacancies. And great stuff, great thing about Euraccess that you can filter offered research position according to the field of your research, your career stage, or even by European programs. So basically that means that if you are interested in, let's say, Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions within Horizon Europe, you can filter research positions that are offered, included doctoral networks, postdoctoral fellowships, co-found, and etc. So basically that is all from me. I meant to present today. If you have any additional questions, I will be happy to answer them. And if not now, you have my contact email, so you can, of course, contact me via email. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Ivan. Now we have finished with this first block of very informative presentations. And I invite you now to pose and ask your questions. You can use chat or you can raise your hand. And before answering questions, if there are going to be any, I would just like to point out one information that Sonia mentioned. It's related to our national measures to strengthen Croatian participation in Horizon Europe. Just to give you one more motivational aspect, these measures are introduced by our Ministry of Science and Education, and they are relevant for all applications that you would submit to Horizon Europe, to Euratom, so nuclear research related program, to EU space, and to EIT, so the European Institute of Technology and Innovation programs. Our winter school is funded by EIT. So I would invite you to go through these measures. It's designed like an supportive incentives, I would say, for those of you that are planning to apply for Horizon or other mentioned programs for grants. So you can get some financial support if you want to go to some trainings for project management and Horizon Europe preparation projects, or if you want to use some consulting, some help in drafting your proposal. And afterwards, when you submitted your proposal, and if it's above the threshold, but there are not enough money to be awarded, you can get, I would say, substantial amount of money to spend, let's say, for your research or for designing and developing your project idea further. So I invite you again to follow the web page on Horizon Europe and to register to their database. So you will get an information on info days, which are very useful. And also for our colleagues that are not from Croatia, I think that the same national support system is available in their countries as well. So you have national contact points for different aspects of Horizon Europe that you can ask for support and guidance. I see there are no questions. Maybe the colleagues, our young researchers, will contact us directly after, after this webinar. So I think that we can move now to our final presentation, to our colleague, Olga. She is going to
Thank you.
present her own experience in this journey of European and other projects. She will give you practical information and advices how to start and how to prepare and implement successful research and innovation projects. So Olga, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can you see my presentation? Is everything okay? Okay then. So, hello, my name is Olga Gornik-Ljajic. I work as a professor at the University of Zagreb, Faculty of Pharmacy and Biochemistry. And as you can see, the title of my today's talk is Preparing and Running a Successful Project from a Researcher's Perspective. So, I just put up this slide to inform you why did they probably choose me. This is because I was involved in many different types of projects, both as collaborator or PI. So those were the project of Croatian Science Foundation, different EU programs as European Social Funds, innovative programs, development programs, FP7, and etc. I have many PhD students, and I also wanted to mention, since mostly of you are young people, that I have 3 children and a dog, just to encourage you and show that you can do both. And to be honest, my most frequent sentence lately is "Kako su mi sada digli tlak." For those not speaking Croatian, is that I'm very upset most of the time, and I feel that I will explode in 5 seconds. But the joy when you successfully finish your project, and when your, I don't know, PhD student defend his thesis, overcome it all. So it is worth, all the effort. Maybe just here to stress out that the first lesson would be not to take too many obligations, not to run too many projects at the same time, because then you can't dedicate yourself as you would like to. So when managing each project, so any project, there are 3 main steps. When you put it like this, it seems all very clear, very simple. So you need to write a proposal, carry out the project, and then report your results. To have a good proposal, maybe the most important step or the factor is to have a good project idea. So the project idea is something that is crucial for every project proposal, and that must be something that is really well thought of. So usually in all project calls and programs, best evaluated ideas are those having community benefits, either direct or indirect. So it is something that you always must show in your project proposals. Always think about community demands, read, be aware of practical problems, talk to your co-workers, collaborators, professionals. So community demand is something that you always need to have in mind when creating your project idea. Then what experts in the field think is needed. So always go through the actions programs, see what are the main goals, so what experts think is worth exploring, and of course think of all your available resources. It is very, very important to have a clear idea, because clear question makes clear proposal. When you are creating your idea, always give it a bit of an extra glow, but do not overstate. What does it mean? You must present your idea. You mustn't present your idea like something that will save the world, but you must put it in a way that your idea, your project, your proposal will make a change that will, in the end, somehow contribute to the world saving. In your phase of professional development, your project proposals must be perfect. So they must be perfect, but seductive enough. So they must be interested, but you can't afford yourself at the moment to, let's say, be Lady Gaga. You can't be very eccentric because you didn't prove yourself still. When you have a clear project idea, then the next step is to think of its nature and find an appropriate call and funding. Sometimes it is also vice versa. So sometimes scientists are forced to see what is offered at the moment and then to try to transform their ideas a bit to fit in the project and the program, but that's not a good scientific practice. So the better way is to have your idea and then to search for appropriate funder for appropriate call or the program. Beside nature of the call, think of its duration. Would it be feasible to fulfill all your research goals in that program, in that project? Search for all available fundings, see what is funded and what is the most important, carefully read all the propositions. So you must also think of the nature of the call. So is it some kind of scientific project, structural, innovative? Is it networking? And also very important thing is to be well informed about the evaluators. So who will read your project? Who will decide about the outcome? Who will decide about the funding? If your project is a more basic research project, your project idea must be then oriented towards scientific aspects. But as I said on my first slide, always be aware of the practical value and potential and present it. It is very important to present the background, how you get your idea, is there any research before you in that field, and give your idea a great significance. So you must present why your idea is significant and support your idea with your expertise. So you must always present why are you or your group important, why are you the person to whom this funding will be given. There are some foundations that appreciate a bit eccentric projects, but then you will find out from the call. The advice I can give you about the installation grants, so all the grants and the projects that involve early career researchers, that in those kind of proposals, it is important to present your independence and the novel area of the research. This does not mean that of course, you have had some kind of a research field during your PhD. It does not mean that you must transfer to another field of research, but you must find your niche. So when you are establishing your new research group, when you are presenting some ideas for early career researchers, always show how you will be novel, what will be your future development, what is your future development plan, etc. Of course, this does not mean that you mustn't have a more experienced support. So always have a more experienced support. Be aware that your supervisor is an important partner in your research career, and always use mentors' advantages. So if you already have good instrumentation in your laboratory, use it. Use your knowledge that you gain through your PhD. If you have good scientific support from your institution and the research group, use it. Use all the collaborations that your mentor previously established and that you were involved in. So some other projects, collaborations, and all networking possibilities, use them to create your new proposals and to establish your scientific group. Here is I put just the example. Those were my first two projects that I was a PI on. Both were given by different foundations. The first one was Croatian Science Foundation. So I just copy pasted the goal just to maybe for you to have a more clear picture. So the goal of this Croatian Science Foundation project was to identify glycans that are specifically connected with type 1 diabetes and correlate them with genome variants. Of course, here I mustn't include my previous mentor in the project because those were the propositions, but I used the help of a collaborator that had a good scientific background, that had more experience than me. He was experienced in the type 1 diabetes field. So let's say I use this opportunity to have this well-established scientific support. The other project was from European Foundation for the Study of Diabetes. In that project, I used previously developed collaborations, which we had in our previous projects. So I collaborated with the University of Oxford. So use everything you learned and from your PhD, and then try to establish your own research career. When it comes to European actions, I didn't want to talk here much because you had really great presentations before me. I saw that from the agenda. But the most important thing also here is to carefully read the propositions. Sometimes you won't be able to understand all of them. So as Vesna already mentioned, talk to the offices, talk to the colleagues. We have well-established offices at the university, so ask for the help before you enter this world. The second most important thing is to think of the nature of the call. So the European Commission will have its general aims and priority topics, be aware of them and adjust to them. It is not good to try to change or to try to, make it like it is adjusted, like it is in the topic. You must be in the topic, you must cover the priority topics, so adjust as much as you possible. Other practical advice, especially when it comes to horizon projects and this type of, let's say, big projects that are very hard to coordinate and where administration is very complex, my advice is to climb your way up. So first, join the action with already well-established partners. Be a partner that can offer something unique, something you are best at, and then position yourself in that horizon or EU world. Then move forward in your next actions. Maybe then you can become a work package leader, then to coordinator in the end, but first position yourself and gain some experience as a partner. When you're a partner, be a very responsible partner. This is very important for your next project. So deliver on before deadline to ensure that other partners can fulfill their task. Or as I think was previously mentioned, include all innovative research methodology you can or you have, or if you're from non-academia or have non-academic partners, show that they have proven track record in developing, marketing. This is something that is really important to be clear in your project proposal. So when it comes to medical reactions, you already also heard a lot. This is something that is very important to you, to early stage researchers. What I wanted just to add that here in this project, it is very, very important to present them in terms of complete education. So what will you gain through all the aspects, not just the science. I mean, it is the science, but it is important to have a scientific aim, but with a strong focus on your training of all young researchers in the project, or you in your project, and show that that after finishing the project, you will become researcher with an interdisciplinary perspective. In that case, you must present that both not academic sector and academy involved in your project, in your research, must possess all expertise needed to fulfill the goals of your project. Why I like this kind of actions? Because they're also mentoring the mentors. So I think that these programs are something that already established scientists, or even better for those maybe who are just postdocs and have their first PhD students, they can also learn a lot from this project. So it's mentoring mentors really good. Okay, other type of projects can be some projects that are more commercially oriented or innovation oriented. Then you must present your project idea, your proposal that is more oriented towards final product. Whether it is some material good, service, some procedure you will offer at the end. Of course, again, carefully read the propositions, and what I would suggest on these big EU projects, not only to contact maybe the offices to have help, but also hire consultants who will be more aware of and could better understand the rules, the legal aspects of the project, to advise you what to do with the intellectual property, how to share it, to help you with the administration, because it is very difficult part on this project. And of course, also the very important thing is to have a rational planning. Also think of the nature of the call. And here it is also very important what is funded, what steps in your project will be funded, and what is the level of the funding, and what are expected outcomes. So what the program expects for you to develop, deliver at the end. Clearly present your final product in the proposal, clearly present its value, and maybe sometimes it is not needed, but always present some possible commercialization procedure or the future plans you have with your final product. So when you have a good idea and you have chosen your funders, so your program you are entering, you must pick your project partners. This is very important step, so always pick your partners carefully. In your proposal, always define their roles, and if you are a partner, be honest about what you can offer and be aware of the demands of the coordinator. So well-defined roles, think of the expertise your collaborators, whether these are individuals or groups, what are their expertise, and always include the adequate number of the collaborators, because number does not equal quality. So sometimes people, especially when they're at the beginning of their career and drafting the first proposals, they think that the number is, the crucial, that if they put many names, many research groups, that their proposal would be evaluated better. It's not the point. The point is that it can be clearly seen what is the role of each partner and how each partner can actually make your project better. Especially when it comes to this installation grants, the grants of the young researchers, not many collaborators are needed, because no one expects you, if you are just finished your PhD and starting your own group, no one expects that you have already established a good network of partners, collaborators. You must employ PhD students. And what is important here is that you have great or the institutional support is crucial. So show in those proposals that you have really good institutional support and that your support is aware of your project proposal and will support you in each step of it. When it comes to other EU grants, always enter grants with partners with well-established background, and this is something you must also be careful of their financial illegal status. So know your partners well before joining the actions, and of course, if you are a coordinator, define their obligations. Here I put just an example. This is one project I'm coordinating, but at the institution. So I'm PI at the Faculty of Pharmacy. It's from the European Structural and Investment Funds. It's Croatian National Center for Research Excellence in Personalized Healthcare. So why I put this? Just to illustrate how this network of partners look like. So we have two faculties from the University of Osijek and the chemistry department, one SME, and two faculties from the University of Zagreb, University of Split, and Children's Hospital Srebrnjak. So 68 researchers all together are involved in this project. And this is just the short description. I apologize, it's in Croatian, but I put this just to illustrate what were the main points that were stressed out in this short description. So it is that the important sentence is here, that the project will make an interdisciplinary network of the researchers that are in accordance with the priorities of the EU calls. Oh, sorry, I'm moving my mouse. So the second thing is that we presented here that we will have the important results. And we actually said that we will have new discoveries. So let's say new services, new products. These are the development of new prognostic biomarkers and things like that. And that our project will end in patent applications. So this is all what is important to put in your project proposal. When it comes to different networking projects, I advise you maybe to search also for this kind of calls. This is a cost call. Actually, it is, I'm involved with Inogli, it's innovation with glycan. So how I ended up there, honestly, they invited me because they lack women. So this is something that is, that is also important and something that you must think of about when you are drafting your project. So they were lacking women. Okay, they chose me, but you know, I wasn't. When someone asks you, would you like to join our project because we lack women, you don't feel. Yeah, but at the end, I was okay. I'll join. I wasn't keen on have some, let's say, very active involvement, but then they give me a task to be a coordinator on inclusiveness target countries research, targets grant applications, so grant awards, and I really enjoy it now. So join this kind of projects because networking is really the most important thing in the science. Be active as much as you can, travel, collaborate, write joint publications, share your experience, use all short-term visits possibilities, join as many meetings as possible, work group meetings, and these projects are very good for young scientists because they can include themselves very actively. So ask your mentors, professors from your faculties, whether they are maybe involved in some kind of networking projects, networking actions, and just use that and attend workshops and just join them. Why is this important? Because in these types of projects, you will meet many people, and some of them may be your next partners on your next project proposal. So when you have idea and partners, the next step is to draft the research plan. So make it, you know, probably all know that, but just make it as clear as possible. And it is important to give each phase a goal, because you must say what your experiments or your networking project phases or things like that, what are the goals of it, so what is the purpose of each phase, and be aware that you must define realistic outcomes. If your outcomes are not realistic, you will have many problems later. So make your project proposal feasible, think ahead. Define immediately all possible problems, assess the risk factors, and look for the alternatives. So always be prepared. Rational financial planning is also crucial, to have it always link a financial plan with the activities. And what would I advise? Always talk to the head of your institution to define the rules at your institution, because sometimes coordinator of the project expects something and maybe the institution does not feel the same. So always define the rules of game before starting the project. The next important step in running a successful project is how you supervise your team. So, of course, you must prepare project, you must conduct project, you must do all the administration and follow-ups, but be aware that responsibilities can be delegated. So use your project partners, use your team, because it's their project also, not yours. And be sure that each collaborator, especially if you have PhD students, is familiar with the project. So all collaborators must know what project tasks are, define their tasks clearly, and be authoritative, but have confidence in people. Because when you delegate someone to do something, then okay, you can lead that person, you can help her, but you know, have confidence that they will do it in the best way possible. Be aware always that young scientists, so you are PhD students, are the main driving force of every project. So when employing young scientists, have in mind that they will work with other team members. So how will they fit? And think of which type of supervisor you are, which type of project leader you are. So of course, if you are independent, if you think that independence is very important for your partners and your collaborators, and believe that students must be very independent, then you won't employ someone who needs great assistance, or if you're very dominant, then a very self-motivated personnel maybe is not the best idea for you. So always think of what's your idea, how will you lead that project and run the project. It is very important when you are supervising your team, so executing the project, to transfer your knowledge, because, you know, upgrade what you already know, because that's the only way the field, the science, your institution can prosper. So give your team always the opportunity to learn, collaborate, travel. So put always this into your proposal, trying to find funding for these activities. And be aware that each of our collaborator, even a PhD student, so young researcher, have a life outside the project. So the more satisfied they are with their lives, the more they will be more productive. And as well, learn from your students, other researchers in your programs, other project partners. When it comes to the execution of the work, so if you planned everything as I mentioned, if everything is set up well, then this is the part when you only have to do some modifications. Of course, it is always the most hard part. Things will never work as you supposed to or as you predicted. But as I said, if you planned well, this point will be less demanding. And when it comes to the reporting, be aware that reporting is also crucial for you to give fundings in the future. during the projects, so during the project, you must report. Sometimes it is annual, so some programs just demand annual project reporting, some semi-annual. Many EU funds are reported quartal because you want to have your money back, and because you are obligated to present what you did by now. In these reports, always check your milestones and results, because it is very important to show that you fulfill all the milestones, all the objectives that were put in the proposal. A clear financial report is also crucial, because it is mainly the most carefully evaluated part of all projects. So link the people with the results, link the people with the finances, have clear timesheets, and back up everything you reported. So have a proof for every cost, for every part, for every result you obtain, and be careful to present according demands and project proposal. So go back to the project proposal when you are reporting and carefully read once again what is expected from you to report, and as was previously mentioned, ask for help. This is very crucial if you don't know how to do it by yourself. Okay, I will finish now. Here I put my email address. So if you need any advice, if I can help you in any way, feel free to contact me. I wish you all fruitful scientific careers. So thank you very much for inviting me to give this talk.
Thank you very much, Olga. This was really great presentation, because it covers, I think, all the most important aspects of the project cycle management. If you don't mind, I would just add an aspect of evaluation, because this is very important for the newcomers or the people that are beginners. As Sonia said, don't give up, but always read your evaluation summary. It's worth it, all the effort that you have spent in project proposal, because it will give you guidance, and it will streamline your next proposal. So you will see the shortages or the things that you hadn't addressed well, and that you will improve in your next proposal. So
yeah, that's always true. I mean, it's really short time to cover everything.
yeah,
This is why I wanted, yeah, to leave these things, maybe to leave the questions for our PhD students. And yeah, this is something that you can also discuss during your workshops. So this is very, very important what you said, because sometimes when you get your negative evaluation, at first you're mad, right? So they don't know nothing. What do they know about my science? I was thinking, you know, and then, okay, when that passes, then you start reading, and then you can, then you see that you can use really well what other evaluators think of your projects, and that their comments can just improve it. So always read it, always incorporate it in your next projects, in your next proposals. So this is a really great advice when it comes to projects, when it comes to papers and things like that. This is why I said you must always be aware of who your evaluators will be, because, you know, this is also very important, and important for what you will stress out in your project proposal. So yeah.
This is why I like Horizon projects, because the most important document, together with the application form and the guidelines, is the guidelines for the evaluators, because it's very important for you when you writing down your proposal to check on each question what evaluators are going to ask for. So it's very good just to follow their questions and answer to it while drafting your proposal, because you will ease this job for them, because you have to be aware that evaluators are, you know, maybe tomorrow you will be evaluator, and a lot of them don't have enough time. They have, for example, 1 day for evaluating few or several proposals, and it's really important how you are addressing your topic, your goals, and this language that you are using is also very, very important. So I don't see any question. I can conclude that this is because all the presentations were very informative and comprehensive, and everything is very clear. Maybe I would just like to ask Olga or Sonia, because she was a young researcher before starting this job as a national contact point. Would you recommend for an early stage researcher to, let's say, go out of their comfort zone, to expose themselves to, for example, go to another country, to another lab, to meet other people, to build their own network of collaborators, maybe to think of changing the sector, pursuing career in industry? Do you think that this is important in their, for example, to grow personally and academically?
So, okay, maybe I can, yeah, I think that would be perfect for young researchers to search for the position that suits them the best. That's the first aspect of it, because sometimes you must try something to see how you are good at it. And it is also good to gain the experience, to gain the knowledge, because sometimes when you are work in the academia, it is also very important to have this contact with non-academic sector to improve your academic, the value. But of course, I mean, it's perfect in a theory, but sometimes can't be done, it all depends on the country, on how the societies, in Croatia, it's a bit difficult, because you don't have that. If you are in the academy, sometimes young researchers think, okay, I mustn't leave from here because I won't be able to come back. So, it's improving, it's better nowadays, but, sometimes it is still hard. So I think that we all must be more open and to maybe more collaborate and to maybe, use this potential of young people to have them in the academy, to then send them whether abroad or to non-academic institutions, and then to have them back to use their knowledge. But as I said, it's not always easy to organize. But yes, it would be perfect for them.
Well, also, thank you, Vesna, very much for inviting me to give my comment on this question. Yes, I was a young researcher, and from my experience, I had the opportunity of scientific mobility to Europe, to different institutions. And I think it is really important. I think it is imperative for young researchers to gain a different perspective, because that different perspective will then give them a better view of what science is, what can be done, how things can be done. One lab does things one way, the other lab does things in different ways. And then from that experience, you can realize, oh, so my ideas don't have to go the same way as my first lab did. I can have different ideas. I can experiment. I can try. Also, networking is really important. Networking, collaborating, meeting people in different areas of science is really the richness that young explorers, or young researchers gain from this kind of mobility. So yes, I would say to everyone, to students, doctoral students, postdocs, use every opportunity you can to go to a different sector or a different country, different lab, because these experiences are really important for your career. And as we have heard today, there are many opportunities. The MSCA Euraxis gives a lot of information So today it is much easier than like 20 years ago when I started. Also use all other resources, your colleagues' information, your mentor. Your mentor is a source of information that is also really important because mentors are usually already have networks of colleagues and collaborators. So yes, mobility is really crucial. Thank you.
Yeah, and what I just wanted to add, that sometimes PhD students do not have, they're not self-confident enough. They don't want to apply to these programs, these projects, this mobility enable, because they think, okay, I'm not good enough to be chosen, right? But that's not true. So I think that mentors are also here very important to encourage them. And I agree with everything you said. It is very important to move, to meet other people, to see other research groups, other laboratories. And what I think is also important there is not just to see how other people do things and then to come back and to incorporate good things in your work, but also to see that you have potential, that you are doing it well, because we're always thinking like, okay, abroad they're doing great things, those scientists are more clever than I am. I mean, it's not just but each country thinks that sometimes. Okay, they have better possibilities, but it's not like that. When you go abroad and meet the people, then you can see that all PhD students are pretty much the same, that your knowledge is great, that you have good, that you have good skills, even experimental skills that you gain in your laboratory. So I think it is also good for that. And then you meet young people who will be your collaborators in your project and maybe the scientific partners for life. So this is, yeah, something like.
So the message would be proactive, like in any activity you do. Okay, I agree with you, with Sonia, that she mentioned that now there are so many opportunities that didn't exist before. Maybe it's good to start with Erasmus opportunities because they're maybe easier to be awarded with. And maybe a message for students at the universities to go and use Erasmus opportunities while they're still within their studying process. So I see no questions, so maybe we can finish today's session. I would like to thank a lot to our speakers for the great presentations, and for the audience, thank you for being with us today. I wish you a successful winter school. Stay healthy and use all the information that you got today. So have a nice day. See you some other time. Bye.